So, greetings of the day from whatever time it may be in the time zone that you are, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. I am Dr. Simmi Mishra, and I'm very glad to host one of my dearest friends and a coach I truly love and respect, Manmeet Narang, as she leads us today in the right way to coach. So, about Manmeet, she is an associate certified coach through International Coaching Federation. She works mainly focusing on wellness and communication. There is a beautiful relationship that Manmeet shares with paper. You can see a part of it on the wall in which it is painted. The relationship only gets better when she starts yielding her pen to write. She is a performing artist, a poet, no doubt. She writes, she performed so many beautiful stage shows. She was also the host of Red FM. Manmeet, are you still doing it or have you discontinued it? I'm unsure about that.
I devoted 3 years of my voice to it, and I no longer do it, but I miss it for sure.
Yes. Because I remember you told me that you were planning to discontinue. And one of the reasons why Manmeet has discontinued is because she's embarked on something even more better, something that's dear to her heart, about which she has been talking to me about for a year now. And being a doctor, even I had, my systems all on alert when I heard it for this first time. And that is, she's pursuing a degree in narrative medicine from the University of Toronto. How magical is that? Because as a doctor, I know that everybody used to tell us listen to what your patients are saying, the history holds the key to what you diagnose. And in a world that has moved to a lot of lab based diagnostics and machines, I, coming from the batch of 1998, I still hold the word of patients very dear. So when Manmeet says narrative medicine holds the key, today you will even see a glimpse of that when you begin to write. Now, there's something Manmeet had written that I would like to read before she began, and this is what will truly bring your attention to the power of writing. She wrote, I often indulge in self talk while walking, bathing, sitting on the pot, staring out of the window, cooking, cleaning, driving. Some very interesting conversations happen up there. Yet sitting down and writing conversations with myself is a different experience altogether. You yourself don't know what and where the conversation will go. It surprises you to see how that was hidden deep down under the folds of that brain. You get revealed to your own self kind of magic happens. What is so special that the paper does? It lies on the table, still, arrives clean, no judgments, does not push, waits patiently. You write nonsense, it won't bat an eyelid. It's just there for you. I'm here. Say what you have to say. It seems to say, just holds the space. Reasons why you must write, reasons why you must be a paper in conversations. To add to it, something even more magical unfolded a couple of days back. I was coaching a teen. She happens to be an orphan being raised by two very lovely parents. And her mother had reached out saying that she doesn't say much, she doesn't speak much. Can you open her up? These were her words. And yet, when the conversation started, she was sitting next to a stack of journals. And I said, wow, those are many, many books. Is that academy? She said, no, ma'am, these are my journals. My mom thinks I don't speak much. The truth is, paper has more patience than people. And that itself felt so magical because I knew few days later I'll be hosting this. I shared this with Manu, and with that, I would like you to step into the world of Manmeet. She takes us through this very beautiful experiential hour. Over to you, Manmeet.
Thank you so much, Simi. I'm kind of absorbing the last line, the patience of the paper, the relationship with the paper. I have shared for what? More than 40 years now. So, at a time when therapy was unheard of, coaching was unheard of, I had my share of stress and pain and trauma and struggle. And this paper comes to my rescue. And I don't even know at that time that it's going to be, my companion, my coach for so many years. Just like a child, when they when they play with the ball, they don't know the shape is a circle. They don't know it's called a ball. They don't know the spellings of it, Ball. They just know it bounces. It brings me joy. It does something to me. I can do something with it. And that was how my relationship with paper began. And many, many years later, I found that it's actually helping me. This is what has helped me all this while. And today it also surprises me that there is actually a science behind it. It's very new, just 75 years old. I think coaching also is pretty new as compared to other methodologies and modalities. But it's a science, and I'm getting the opportunity to study it. And then, of course, there is this 40 years of experience of life. I'm curious to know how many of you journal or write in whatever capacity. And oh, I already see one hand up. I can't see everyone because I've been put on spot. If that is also a rule, Abby, please do it. Otherwise, if it's not a rule, love to see everyone's faces. I don't want to be in the spotlight. Thank you so much. And okay, so a lot of cameras are off. If you want to just switch on the cameras, it'll be really nice. I want to see everyone. Otherwise, of course, the chat box is there. You can put in there. All right, coming to, I don't want to talk a lot about this magic in this process. I want to take you through this. That's why it's the experiential hour. And I would love to hear from you. How's the experience by the end of the session? What have you taken from it? Um, so I'm going to share my presentation. We are not really dependent on it, but sometimes people would like to read what is being said. Okay, I see the question being answered. Okay, random scribbles, prose. Um, I do write. Sunita journals. Rahul writes poetry. Fantastic. And those of you, um, I love the scribbles Shripad word used, the ramblings and the scribbles and the so-called crap we feel we are putting out. We will need to dole out a lot of crap today and in life in future. So even if you're doing that, that means you are writing. So writing, if you notice, is a verb. It says ing. So if you are doing anything, you are writing. It does not have a parameter. So I'm going to share my screen and just give me 1 second. Let me open the presentation. Otherwise, all the multiple windows on my laptop will open up. And what we are going to experience today is kind of a writing circle. I hold these writing circles on weekends whenever I have the bandwidth. And I've been intending to offer the writing circle to my group of coaches, and I'm very thrilled that I'm able to do that today, thanks to the nudge by Simmi. And I really acknowledge all of you for being here, for being curious to understand what writing can bring to you. And as I said, even if I keep saying that it's the most powerful reflection tool I have discovered, I leave it to you to experience it and see whether it worked for you or not. And someday I would love you to come into my writing circle, which goes on for a series rather than just one off. And there are also programs that I have designed which are specifically, using the written modality to heal trauma and pain and struggles. Just to tell you, by the way, you can actually cure headaches through writing. Your joint pains can go. If you're dealing with a chronic disease, I'm not, science does not promise that the disease will go away. We still have a lot to do in that area, and there is a lot of medical aspect involved in that. But your capacity to deal with that disease will deepen. That's what writing holds the promise for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the rules that we have inherited from our education system, from the society regarding writing. And this is purely a self reflection. What are the rules you may have created in your head? These rules are nothing but barriers that will come in the way of writing. So just become present to them. And when you actually start writing, uh, try to knock out those barriers, saying that it's just a barrier. For today, I'm going to give myself a free and open space to write. And how you can respond to each rule is by, like, I saw Rahul's hand going up and I said, do you write? Oh, that's a very, very interesting way. I can see the hand clearly. So you can put your hand up to say that, yeah, I do follow that rule. Or you can use the chat box, whatever suits you. I need to write proper grammar and spell all the words correctly when I'm writing. Okay. And it takes the number one position because that's the biggest barrier. So the moment you get into the spellings, you're breaking your flow of thought. Nobody's coming to check your paper. You're not giving this to a publisher. I'm certainly not going to put it up on LinkedIn. So please free yourself from this trap of getting the spellings right and the grammar right. My writing has to make sense, else it's the waste of time. Simi, maybe you can keep an eye on the chat box if anybody's responding there. Okay, great. So coaches are evolved enough to say that waste of time is a good time. If my writing is messy, I'm not doing it right. Writing is to clear the mess. So if you have brought the mess, great. Let it go messy. Writing is going to take you out of the mess. Now, this is classic. I should write when I know exactly what to write. If you knew what to write, if you knew what you want out of life, if you knew your goals, you'll not need coaching or writing. Trust me. So you will discover and it will get revealed to you when you write. My favorite sentence is, I don't know how to begin. I don't know what to write. My writing must be interesting and impressive to others. I do not see any hand going up. I mean, none of us have these barriers. Great. Oh, there goes one hand. I can't see others, but I'm sure there will be more.
So there are
And it's
multiple.
okay.
So they're using the chat box because there are multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
yes, Geet, there will be multiple. So you have the freedom to proudly say, I have many barriers. It's almost like that.
I just typed in the chat box. Yeah.
yeah, 1 and 4. She has typed 1 and 4 for me.
Yeah. So, we are anyways doing the writing for ourselves today, but just want to tell you that whatever stories and poetry that got published from my side were all born out of my rough journals when I did not have any agenda. So, you may just surprise yourself today by writing something beautiful. Do not have that agenda that I'm going to impress others. The idea is to express, not to impress. Okay, this comes together 6 and 7. It's very interesting. Simi, would you like to read the 6 and 7?
Sure. I shouldn't write four-letter words, say horrible things about people I love, whine, get angry, complain. If I write negative, I will manifest negative.
So we are not here to manifest. You may end up manifesting a lot of things, but we are here also to flush out. So this is a belief many of my clients had, and that's why I put it out there that, I don't want to talk negative about my parents. I don't want to negative about my spouse or my life or about myself. Then my brain starts working like that. And the classic thing I do, and I'm sure all of you have somewhere in NLP experienced this. So I'm going to say it out. Everybody starts, everybody, I'm going to put a scenario in front of you. So be with me. Do not think of a polar bear. Uh, Please do not think of a polar bear wearing a black hat. Please do not think of a polar bear wearing a black hat dancing in snow. What were you thinking when I was saying this? Sarvajot is laughing. Sarvajot, can you respond?
Because I was thinking exactly what he was asking me not to think.
So, all those people who fool themselves that if I write, then I'll think about it, are already thinking about the mess and the crap in their life. So, you rather flush it out. I cannot mix languages. Anyways, in the languages, we have some sort of a hierarchy. English is somewhere at the top. I don't know how, thanks to the British colonialism. So please feel free to write in your mother tongue. Mix your mother tongue with English or with another mother tongue. Create a complete glorious mess of languages as long as you want to express in them. Give yourself that freedom. So what's your favorite rule? Put it in the chat box. What do you think is going to be your strongest barrier today that you're going to unlock today and move ahead? Okay, I'm going to open the chat box now.
Yes, so there's quite a bit. Ravi is saying, I usually don't write unless I'm compelled to write for whatever reason. Journaling is my weakest point.
Thank you, Ravi, for saying that. I probably should have had a couple of more rules here. You don't have to journal every day. Please do not go through that myth. Um, it's a discipline for sure. Pick up your journal when you really, really feel you're not going anywhere. And you can hold the same thing for your clients. It's not something you have to be dependent on. Like I was sharing a while ago when I came to Canada, I used to journal probably 3 times a day. That was the mess I was going through. That was my need at that time. I'm going through a pretty happy phase today. I journal probably after 3 or 4 days. So you don't have to force yourself. But at the same time, whenever I actually put down my conversations on paper, something beautiful invariably comes out. So it's also a discipline. So when you are thinking about something and you're thinking you can think in your head, just sit down with the paper and put it down and see what reveals. All right. I'm just going to say it here for everyone's convenience. The only rule you need to follow today and in the future when it comes to writing and journaling is that there is no rule. Um, Sarah Margot got a Nobel Prize for a book For in fact, all his books are like that. His one sentence is 3 pages long. There are no full stops. The characters do not have names, yet the story makes a sense. If they were, if rules were not broken, we wouldn't have people and writers like that. So these are some of the practices we will follow today. I need some volunteers. Please read one after another. So 6 volunteers who can read one practice after another. Please notice this is not a rule. It's a practice that we'll follow. That means if you forget it, it's okay. I'm going to gently remind you. Kindly
Anyone?
unmute yourself, and anyone can just volunteer to read one practice.
The first one, anyone can read?
You don't have to read what you write, though we encourage you to do so.
The next one, any volunteer?
I'll read. If you read what you write, we will only talk about what is strong in your writing, what stays with us, what we remember.
I'll go for the next. If you read, you will treat what you have written as fiction. Even if you identify your writing as a memoir, we will address as the story, we'll address as the story as a piece of writing.
You saw there was a grammatical error there. So it's all fair.
I'll just
Can
read the
read the
next one.
next one. Okay, Simmi.
We will hold in confidentiality everything written and talked about in the workshop. Can someone go for the next?
I can go next.
Yeah.
The workshop facilitator writes and reads too, taking the same risk as everyone else.
Listening is as important as writing.
I have
I
a
wanted to
hunch
pick that
all the
last one.
coaches. Sorry?
I was waiting for the last sentence, but somebody picked it up from me.
Okay, thank
I,
you.
I wanted to pick the shortest.
My hunch is all of you being coaches here mostly are already drawing parallels with the competencies that you have. And when Simi was reading out those little bullet points I wrote for the paper, coming to your coaching session clean like a paper, having the presence, listening without judgment, all of that, all your competencies are already going to be in practice. And that's why I'm super excited about this session. So, coaches, we'll take a pause and I'll guide you through a small meditation so that we can process. So, I invite you all to close your eyes, make yourself comfortable wherever you're sitting, even if you're in the mall. Place your feet on the ground. If you're wearing a chappal, a shoe, you may just remove it and let the ground touch your feet, soles of your feet. Hands gently open on your lap, facing skywards. Your head, neck, and spine in one straight line, as comfortably as you can do that. Do not force your body for anything. And eyes gently close. If you have any issue with closing eyes, you can just lower your gaze. Let's bring our focus on our breath. Taking deeper breaths as we pay attention to our breath. Let each breath bring you calmness. Let each breath wash over every cell of your body, sense of calm. There is a spark inside you, a spark that is gifted to everyone by the cosmos. Let's connect to that spark. You may want to unmute yourself so that the meditation space can be done in silence. Let that spark take you to landscapes you've never visited before. Take you to places that you have never imagined before. A spark that takes you beyond the worldly worries, the immediate needs. Connect and hold on to that spark. Take in its light in every cell of your body. A spark that is born out of love, born inside you. No one can take it away from you. Nobody can destroy it. Nobody can give you. It's already there inside you. Carry that spark with you as you enter the workshop space. Holding a little finger, let that spark guide you as you pick up a pen and write it on the paper. Holding the hand of that spark, listen to the words of Pat Schneider. We are all connected to one another, and the mystery of the heart at the heart of this universe through our strange and marvelous ability to create words. When we write, we create. When we offer our creation to one another, we close the wound of loneliness and we participate in healing the broken world. Our words, our truth, our imagining, our dreaming may be the best gifts we have to give. Whenever you feel ready, you gently rub your palms and place them at any body part that you feel needs that warmth and healing the most. We will start the writing process now, and we will first seek inspiration from somebody else's writing. I need a volunteer who can read aloud this poem by Mary Oliver.
I can. The Gardener by Mary Oliver. Have I lived enough? Have I loved enough? Have I considered right action enough? Have I come to any conclusion? Have I experienced happiness with sufficient gratitude? Have I endured loneliness with grace? I say this, or perhaps I'm just thinking it. Actually, I probably think too much. Then I step out into the garden where the gardener, who's said to be a simple man, is tending his children, the roses.
Who are the roses in your life? Bring that picture in front of you. These are your writing prompts. You may write what is possible if you become a gardener and tend to the roses of your life. Or you may choose the second prompt. What are the questions that are stopping you from tending your roses? These are prompts. Prompts are invitations. You can turn down the invitation. If the poem is saying something else to you, please feel free to write that. We have sought inspiration from a poem. You can write a poem. You can write prose. You can start off with a story. You can just ramble. You can write an essay. You can just free flow with the words. There is no format. As you write, include the images, the conversations, the emotions that may arise as you write. And a gentle reminder, you need not know where you're going with this. You need not have perfect start and the perfect ending. Just allow yourself to get into the unknown, something you may have been saying to your clients when you're on the other side of the fence as the coach, and let it reveal to you. I'm just going to pause for 1 second and see if anybody has a question, even though this may be very self explanatory. Simi, is there any hand up or a question in the chat box?
I can't notice any hand and no
Okay.
questions.
Looks like we are ready then. So I'm going to give you, what's the time right now, Simi? Oh, sorry,
Um,
that can be very confusing. How much time are we left with?
so we have been around 30 minutes, the in this experiential hour. So
Okay. So I'm going to give 10 minutes of writing time to everyone. And a minute before the 10 minutes are going to be up, I'm going to gently tell you so that you can wrap up your writing. And now we can switch off your cameras, go into silence, right? I request everyone to wrap up your writing. Even if it's incomplete from your lens, you can always continue later. What we'll do now is we'll take um, sharing, let's see, maybe at least from one person, if need be, from another participant. And then we'll go into breakout rooms and we will share our writing with each other. It's my urge to all of you. I'm urging everyone not to have the urge to begin sharing, saying, oh, it's really badly written or it's not good enough. Hold that urge because we have brought our mess here. In 10 minutes' time, we have written something which is very naturally going to be messy. But it's interesting to see that mess can also hold so much of potential. So, some practices of feedback that I want all of you to be mindful of is, so when somebody shares, the floor will be open for at least 2 or 3 feedbacks. And when you go into the breakout rooms, then also follow the same method. So, 3 volunteers who can please read out the 3 practices that we follow for feedback. Can unmute yourself and read out.
Okay. There's Ravi here. Strength-based feedback. Share what was strong in the writing, what stayed with you, what you remembered.
And I would add here, sometimes we get into our own story. Remember, the spotlight is on the writer. So share about the writing. If you felt it was very relatable, your relatability can be your feedback, but do not go into your own story and stick to the writer's writing. Second practice.
I'll take
Yes,
that.
Shubhra.
Yeah. Distance. We will create a brave space by avoiding the word you. Address the voice, character, narrator, poet, writer, piece.
So you can say, I felt this was strong in the piece, or the character was very relatable, or you can say the writer expresses this beautifully. You can begin like that. And as I said, it's a practice. Do not take it as a rule. If you falter anywhere, I'll gently remind you. Last practice.
I'll say it. Safety, you have the right to pass, though we encourage you to take a chance and jump in.
We are coaches. We all have promised confidentiality, and we are holding each other. So, this is probably the safest space where you can take that chance for yourself. So, I'm gonna open the floor and ask who wants to read out their piece.
Okay, I'll do that. My boardroom, you know, anyway, I think I forgot the rules that you said, so I'll just start by reading. A gardener tending to roses of my life, I will have garden full of roses. Roses of various colors, shapes, and sizes, yet each one of them will be beautiful in their own way. The plants that bloom these flowers will have very strong branches with lush green leaves supported by healthy roots. The plants will be free from pests and diseases. Roses, while beautiful, they do come with thorns. If you're not careful, then you will end up getting hurt. So, as a good gardener, I will wear protective gear while tending to them. This is exactly what I do as a coach. I help each of my clients to bloom and shine in their own way by helping them stay grounded while developing a strong support system for them to bloom. As a coach, I'll make sure I wear protective gear of presence while I support them. And that's where I stopped.
Thank you, Ravi, for sharing that. I'm opening the floor for feedback from the participants to the writer.
I like the tonality level and you know uh, the speed also which you are uh, reciting the poetry. So yeah, these two stood out for me, and I really couldn't catch many words as I'm wearing a hearing aid. It's what I hear is bionic and not natural. But yeah, when you were going through it, as you were reading it, I could feel the pace, and yeah, it was nice to listen to. Thanks.
Thank you, Rahul.
I'll I'll try giving feedback. Um, So I think some of the things that I heard were very descriptive, and that kind of painted a picture in front of my eyes in terms of what the writer is trying to share through the piece. Particularly about thorns on the roses stayed with me because that's where we look at both sides of the table. Uh, there are things that are beautiful and stunning to see, but at the same time, we need to look at certain roadblocks that might not be so easily visible. So that's the beauty of, I think, the piece for me, and that stayed with me.
I was particularly struck by the metaphor of gloves being a protection and then being equated to the presence. And I was like, presence may not be the glove. So the writer got me thinking there. Is it like a glove or is it like being so one with the client? And I found so much of thought there. I'm still processing that if the thorn also comes close to me and I bleed, will I be able to support my client? And these thoughts were all triggered through that metaphor. And I'm deeply thankful to the writer for planting that thought in my head.
Can I share something over here, Manmeet?
Of course, Simmi, go ahead.
As the writer was sharing, like uh, the way he was describing, it began with the roses. But what I noticed and what stayed with me was the fact that he also spoke about how it is supported by those beautiful leaves, the branches which are strong, and the roots. It felt like the whole being is coming into picture, and not just the roses, that is the doing part, what we see, what the world sees, but the being part. And he swiftly brought that in so beautifully, and that is something that truly stayed with me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the feedback. So, thank you so much for being the courageous writers and for sharing the pieces of your heart and for allowing everyone to learn from them. I would take the last 4 minutes for all of you to reflect, and you can do this reflection in writing. What is it that you're taking away from today's session? It could be a sentence, it could be a word, it could be two sentences. I leave that minute with you. What I'm taking away is that I need to do this more often. I love holding space for people when it comes to this, and I've missed this space and I love this space. That's what I have written. Uh, Anybody can unmute and share their takeaways.
I wrote a few lines, just very few words. Writing heals. Acknowledge and pen down what you feel. The paper knows it all.
I think what I'm taking away is what we started with, that paper has patience. And it is also the place, it's also something that in the company of that paper is where I slow down and I be myself. That realization is what I'm taking away. And I think what shifted for me, Manmeet, honestly, is that I kind of keep telling to myself that I'm going through a writing block. And I end up not, and I realize that's an excuse I'm giving to myself every time when I feel like writing and I don't have the courage to let it flow. So thank you.
What I'm
Yes.
taking away is that I must do this more often, because all those blocks I will be able to overcome only when I sit with intention and write. Um, So the space that you both have created today um, has been really moving for me in many ways. And I would love to continue being in such spaces so that it's more reflection, more action than just thinking and not taking action. Thank you so much.
Yes, Ravi?
Ravi?
Yeah, my takeaway is write anyways. As I said, I'm not natural and I don't write often, so that's my key takeaway. Write anyways.
So, for me, what I felt listening to everybody also is that writing can bring a true divinity within yourself. Therefore, writing is very important and should be a very important part of anyone's life. And it's very easy to pour your heart out on a paper, and you know that paper will never be judgmental. So it's much easier pouring your heart out when you're writing. And therefore, I should start writing myself, which I left long back. So, yeah, thank you so much, Manmeet, for the session.
Thank you, Manmeet, for the space and the wonderful hidden talents which many people had and many people have, and they could express it and share freely without, yes, non-judgmental, no one questioning, but everyone appreciating and sharing their observations and takeaways and how it impacted each and every one of them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abhirami, for hosting this lovely event, I would say. I was looking forward to something related to coaching, but yeah, complete turnaround, and I loved it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you, everyone, for being the beautiful, courageous souls that you are. And Abby, thank you so much. And Simi, love you always.
Thank you. Before we sign off, there is something that I wanted to share. So, when I was introducing Manmeet, I wanted everyone to experience what this writing is before I even say what her writing circles are like. I have been privileged, honored, and truly blessed to have attended one. I have even brought my friends, and every month I get a message, when is Manmeet's next writing circle? Please let us know in case if she has not reached out. The best part was my teen daughter attended one, and her table, she's in standard 10. There are at least 10 journals now, because she writes not just once but 2 3 times, and she says, wow, that was something, mama. And she has done well, Manmeet, in her pre-boards. She was going through a lot. We moved to a new country, but this writing turned around her life for her, and I'm very grateful to Manmeet for that. So, Manmeet's writing circle, I've written a few lines. In Manmeet circles, words take flight, a gentle spark, a guiding light, where stories bloom and voices grow. In shared embrace, new truths we know, a healing space, a wondrous art. Manmeet's writing circles mend the heart.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. So beautiful. So
And
moved
that
and touched.
And that is also a nudge to my dearest friend. Please host one as the year ends so that we can all join in with grace with another prompt. Beat a garden, beat a sky. We want to be them and meet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Manmeet.
Thank
everyone.
you, Manmeet.
Thank you, everyone.
Simi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone. Good
Abhirami.
night. Have
Thank
a
you,
lovely
Simmi.
weekend.
Thank you. Good
Thank you
night.
to everybody.